I bought some new GoPro batteries, but of course they're new old stock, I was told, and they were manufactured in 2013. This one I believe was used because the date is kind of worn off on the back, and I'm assuming somebody kind of rubbed it off, right? This one didn't work. I'm gonna have to go return those. The other one, we'll see how that lasts. The other batteries I bought, the other aftermarket batteries I bought, I emailed them and they say they're under warranty for 3 years, so they're gonna send me a new set. We'll see how that goes. So I finally got the machine up to the property. I did have some issues on the way in, so we know I had the accumulator valve. That was a simple O-ring replacement, but of course it took some time to figure that out. And then I had a brake issue, and that took some time to figure out. Apparently nobody's ever serviced those brakes in quite a few years, because when I took the reservoir dipsticks out, the reservoir dipsticks were just covered in rust and the reservoirs were empty. So I flushed them out, reserviced them, and now I have brakes. We'll see how that goes, right? I flushed the didn't flush the radiator out, but I blew the radiator core out because that had a lot of dirt that accumulates in there over time from the fan blowing the dirt, and then the oil mist from the oil, and that causes like an asphalt covering over the radiator. So I blew 90% of that out, but it's still running hot, so basically I'm gonna have to flush the inside of the radiator. Now to do that, I'm gonna need a 20-gallon container to drain the antifreeze out of, because the antifreeze is fresh. So once I get that out, then I'm going to need 20 gallons of water and radiator flush solution, and a pump, and hook it up to the radiator and circulate it through the radiator to flush the radiator out. Then I'm going to need another 20 gallons of fresh water to flush that solution out. So since I'm in the middle of nowhere, that's going to be a logistical issue. But I'll get it done. It's just going to really set me back in time, because I don't want to be running that thing when it's hot, because I really don't want to blow a head gasket, because that would be phenomenal if that happened. So I was going to resurvey the property today, because I finally figured out how to use my Wang Gan land meter. And apparently, so there are 3 different types of GPS coordinates, and I used the wrong type of coordinates. I used a degrees coordinates when I should have been using a minutes coordinates. So I got that all straightened out, remapped it, and now I have to go walk and pull the old pins out and then replace them in the new position. The problem is, it is cold and it is windy today, and I mean windy. So I don't know if I'm gonna punk out and call it a day, or if I'm gonna put on some lingerie, because at least that lingerie is like a windbreaker, and get it done. I'm gonna let it sit. I'm gonna sit here for an hour, I should say, and see if it slows down a bit. I mean, those clouds are moving pretty fast, so maybe it'll blow by, and if it does, that'll be perfect. If it doesn't, well, I'm either going to get really cold, or I'm going to punk out. One of the two. But then again, I got nothing to do. I got to be at the plantation tomorrow to cover for a guy I trade my days with. And so I'm going to have to work a full 5-day week. I know, isn't that a bitch, huh? So I don't know if I squash today's plans, what am I going to do? I just don't want to sit around and do nothing. I need to accomplish something. So I haven't figured that out yet. But let's look at the wind for a bit. And I'll let you know in a few minutes what I'm going to do. All right, I got my lingerie on, got a pair of gloves, I got my Wang Gan land meter, I got my old map, and what I'm gonna do is just pull the old pins out, come back to the truck, warm up a bit, and then go out and place the pins in the new locations. That's the plan. So, alright, so I picked up 2 pins, but it started raining on me, so I came back, and now of course now the sun's starting to peek through, so I guess I'll just go blow the snot out of my nose now, get something to drink. Last episode I had a really windy day and a cloudy day. I did suit up and actually get out there and repin 2 of the property boundaries. I found the second USGS monument, which made it even easier, but the weather started getting really bad, so I decided, well, I noticed the brake fluid on the front loader dripping for some reason. After I climbed in there and I looked around, I noticed that the back brake reservoir was empty, and so I took out the reservoir and I cleaned it up, and it looks pretty good. I don't know where the leak came from. And then I even took the line out because I thought maybe the way they had this clamped up against the frame, that it might have been chafing and it could have possibly chafed a hole in the line. But I filled it up with alcohol and I left it for a couple hours, and it didn't leak. So I don't know why that back reservoir is empty and where it's dripping from. The power booster or power cluster is dry, and the rest of the lines are dry. So I don't know what's going on there. I'm going to put this back in, but the front one was leaking and that one is outside. So what happened is it rotted through. So I've been cleaning that, and that hole is just getting bigger and bigger. So that's going to have to be re-welded. So that's going to be something that's going to have to be taken care of before I can run the machine. So now my mission today is to get that back brake reservoir installed, fill it up, and let's see where it's leaking from. It's gorgeous out today. Just a light breeze. That's nice. I should have took off my sweatshirt before I put on this, because it's holding in the wind. I'm starting to sweat. Okay, so there it goes. That's where this is where the reservoir goes, in this ring. And the line runs down behind that bracket. It would have been nice if they would have put the clamp on that hose and they would have captured the nut, because I have to squeeze in between that dry shaft and those 2 lines down there. I gotta be a contortionist. Alright, here we go. I cover the end of the line, this way it doesn't get plugged up with any dirt while I push it down, because you know it's not going to go directly where it's supposed to go without a fight, right? Okay. Oh. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay. Wiggle it a little bit. You gotta wiggle it a little bit. I want to make sure that line is facing out. It's tight. Okay. Yeah, that's it. All right, down she goes. I left that loose too. All right, bottomed out. Now I got to get in there now and hook up the line and the clamp. That's going to be interesting. Let's see if I can get up in there now. I got to get in there with both hands up high first, and then wiggle myself in. Oh yeah, this is. Oh, what a joy! What a joy! Let's get on the camera. Oh. It's a good thing that magnet on that light is good. A little bump and it's off. That's gonna be useless. There we go. How's that? Any better? Probably not. All right. Okay. Yeah. Usually this black tape doesn't stick worth anything, but today it's gonna stick like super glue, right? Where's the end? What the hell? There we go. Nice and easy. Easy peasy, right? Let's make it snug. Like a bug in the rug. Nice and easy. I think that's as tight as I'm gonna get it. Now it's a matter of let's get that clamp on there now. Here's where the acrobatics come in. Let's stay. That won't stay. Oh shit! There we go on the floor. I can't see if the thing's running. Is it running? It's running. Alright, so there's a clamp. I flip the clamp over this way now. Puts the line on the outside. See there's a little chafe mark here. From it rubbing. It didn't leak when I filled it up, but I bet you now that I put it in, it'll leak. Here we go. Alright, let's put the camera down. Come on, what the hell? Okay. My friend was tight. Now, get out of here. Well, ripping my lingerie. Oh. No, I'm stuck. What the hell am I stuck on? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Alright. Well, I'm curious as to where that brake fluid's going, and I'm going to try to. Oh, these magnets suck. All right, so this is the breather line that runs up to the breather, and what that does is that's on the master cylinder side of the accumulator or the booster. And so I guess if the master cylinder is leaking, into the debooster, fluid will leak from here. And I'm hoping that's not the case. I mean, it doesn't look like the case. It's dry, right? And this is dry. You would think that that would be a little wet. So let's see what happens when I take that off now. Quarter turn at a time, I guess. Alright, let's hope for the best here. No leakage. Come on, nice and dry. Come on, baby, nice and dry. Nice and dry. Nice and slow and nice. Oh! Yep. My worst fear, right? Oh, yeah. Well, now that is a downer. That's quite a lot of fluid that's coming out of there. Damn, dude. All right, well, there it is.